Okay, so I'm going to create a new project in Unity. This is Unity Hub. This is the Unity editor, the 6000 version, which I just installed. We always start with the hub, and the difference is that this is a white box or a light colored box with a dark gray inset, and this is a dark colored box with a light gray inset. This is where we start projects. We can check out our installation, what we've installed, the different versions we've installed. I have 6,000 and I kept 2023. I deleted 2022. But here I'm going to just say new project. I want to use the Universal 3D Core. The project name, it defaults to my project, which is just a terrible name. So I'm going to call this walk. I'm going to call this idle walk. The location defaults to your user, so your user gets cluttered with these. So I created a folder in my I created a folder here in my courses for the Dig 310 called Level 1 2025. So that's where it's going to go, and then I can create the project. This takes forever, but I want to show the splash screen, which I kind of like. I will say this is the new splash screen for 6000. This is the new logo for 6000. It has this dimensional X, the dimensional number 6. Not a fan. Not a fan of that. I'm going to pause this while it takes forever to load the scene. Okay, so looks like I can minimize this. This is the interface for Unity. I have the hierarchy over here, and it shows everything in my scene. There's the main camera, for instance. When I click on it in the hierarchy, it's activated in the scene. I can see that the camera's pointed this way. And anything I select either up here, there's a light, or in the, wow, very small, or in the scene, I get an inspector, it tells me some things about the object. Down here I have a console for errors and things, and then here's the project tab, and these are search parameters, and then assets, and most of the stuff happens in assets here. I am going to I can zoom in and out with my middle mouse wheel. Click and hold the middle mouse wheel, and I'm doing what we call panning. I'm panning the camera around. Right click and hold and drag is rotate the camera. So that's a way I can navigate. Here's the game view, which shows whatever the camera sees. And then here is the play button, which will also show me what the camera sees. But now, if there's animations or things, they should be playing. I don't know if it's still the case, but I have, in the past, I've noticed if I leave this in play mode and make changes, for instance, to the code or something else, it doesn't take. But maybe they've fixed that. Just make sure you turn this off. So I'm back in scene mode. I need to get some assets. I'm going to go to the asset store and to Mixamo. Again, I'm just doing this. I could get from Mixamo. I could get the model and the animations. This is the. I can do the same actually here with the asset store. This is the asset store for Unity. But I just want to show that I don't have to do that. Right? That I can get model from one place and animations from another. It's important to know that you can do that. So I'm going to search for 3D characters, and then I should see some subcategories. I want humanoids, and if I scroll down, you can see there's a one there. There's a package for $149, so $300. It's on sale. Anyway, I don't want any of that, so I'm going to sort by, instead of popularity, I'm going to sort by price low to high. And so these should all be free. In fact, they are free. Now, I want something. Some of these are cute. Some of them are neat. Some of them are bizarre. Right? There's some skeletons. I want the most neutral model I can get. And the reason for that is I'm developing now. So I don't want to be, if I choose these, fantasy characters, then I'm kind of letting myself in for a fantasy idea. But so I'm going to use these guys. Now I've already used these. I've already downloaded them. So these say open in Unity, but you will see. I'm just going to open a private window so it won't recognize me. You will see add to my assets. So you'll add to your assets, then you'll download them, then you'll import them into your scene. And let me know if you have any trouble. So this pops up. So it's a human base meshes. These are my assets. So I have wood mannequin, simple cam flow. These are different things, Banana Man, but this is the one we're looking at now. I'm going to import to the project. And then I can just choose, like maybe I don't want some things, but I'll just take them all, just see what happens. Then I think, I can't minimize this, so I have to turn it off. Okay. So Kevin Iglesias created these. So before I had scene settings, tutorial info. It's not important to look at these right now. This is a new folder. If I double click it, it says human-based meshes. Materials, models, and prefabs. And I'm not sure what the difference is between prefabs and models. I kind of prefer to look at some of these things as icons, not a list. So this little slider allows me to do that. Actually, maybe I can use this to see the names. Yeah, okay. So I don't know if you noticed, but we had a male and female characters. So you can use either of these two dummies. I didn't talk about the characters, but I don't want to use these human meshes. Let's see, do I have this still here? These are the human meshes, and see this, the kind of tough guy or strange looking. Again, I just feel like I'm getting too much input from these. So these are the dummies, and you can use male or female. And I will say this, all the male models have clench fist, and the female models have open hands. I mean, I don't know what the, anyway, there it is. They're free. I don't want to minimize it. I don't want to close that. Okay, so I'm going to use the dummy model male. Drag it into the scene and drop it in front of the camera. So I'll look at the game view, and so I can see that the character is looking away from me. I don't know if you can see that his feet are pointing the wrong direction. This is called a gizmo, and I can drag it, the object around by these arrows, right? I don't want to, I kind of want to undo that. So I'm going to put it closer to the camera. So the game view or the play view will both show the camera. Okay. And I want to rotate this guy to face the camera. So this gizmo with the arrows is a move gizmo, and this is a rotate gizmo. If I grab the horizontal green circle, it turns yellow. And I would just move my mouse around. It's a little bit hard to figure out where to move it, but just keep on moving it till you see a straight line across that circle, and you've rotated them 180 degrees. There's some way over here. Rotation, yeah, 180. I can type this in, 180, and be exact. That's also a way to do it. Okay, so here's my character. He's facing me now. Alright, so I want to add some animations to this character. I want to get at least two. I want to get an idling animation and let's say a walking animation. So that would be, I still have the thing open here, yeah. So that would be Mixamo. So Mixamo is a site I can download animations for these characters. I can also download the skins for these characters. So I can use the skin that you see here on this guy. This is kind of a run. Yeah, a running. Let's look at idling. I-D-L-E. Idling is a kind of motion that the character goes into when he's not doing anything else. And I want one that's less than completely minimal, like the standing idle here is maybe just slightly too, he's breathing, you know what I mean? And then some of them are just, this is sad. I don't want those. So actually I noticed There were some orc and dwarf idols, ninja idols. Uh, this one seems fairly. This one actually seems fairly normal. I suppose he's a dwarf because he's standing. Kind of funny. Orcs or whatever. Here's old man. Um, you can choose any idol you like. There's standing with a briefcase. There's no briefcase included, but I like this one in that it has a little bit of motion to it. You can see it's got a fist. By the way, I can rotate and look at this in different views. That looks fine to me. That's enough motion that I can actually see it. Some of these are just too understated. So I'm going to download it. The default is with skin, and the default is, I don't know, I think 24 frames a second. But I don't want that. I want 60 frames a second and without skin. So the reason you're seeing these this way, I mean, when I first opened this, it said without skin at 60 frames, is because I've been doing this a bit today, so it thinks it knows. When I come back another day, I'll have to reset these. So I'm going to download this. And this is idling, and so I'll give me a chance here to rename it. So standing with briefcase idle, I'm just going to rename idle. IDLE. And I'll put it in my same place I've got my my scene idle. And let's get a walk. Let's get a walk animation. I mean, some of these are funny, but I don't really want a funny one. I want, again, a neutral, kind of neutral. If I don't want to see it moving, I can say in place. Some of these are hilarious. This one looks like he's injured or something. No, he's just kind of a big guy, big dopey guy. A backwards walk. Drunk walk, maybe. This is walk with briefcase. And I had the kind of idle thing going on, so I don't know. The idle had the briefcase hand. I think I'll use that one. I don't know why. I'm just picking one. Again, without skin, 60 frames a second. Download. It gives me a chance to change the name. You got to keep the .fbx. So I'm just going to use these two for now. I'm going to add other animations later. So I'll just keep this open. Alright, so in my projects window, I'm going to go back to assets. I'm going to create a new folder, right click in here and say create folder and call it animations. I can just dump them in the assets folder, but I like to keep things a little bit neater than that. And then I'll right click inside animations and I'll say import new asset. And I'll get both of these. There we go. And let's do the idle first. So this is the package, has a lot of stuff I may not need. And it has this is the icon, this triangle with action arrows is the icon for animations. So this is the actual animation. But I'm going to click on the package that contains the animation and make some edits to it. So in the inspector, I'm going to look at the rig and see that it is generic. I think it should be humanoid. I think that's important. And then and the animation button. There's a couple things. Okay, here's a chance to rename it. So I'll call this idle. And scroll down a bit. I'm missing something here. There should be a loop time. So what the idle animation does is when no commands are given, it just runs this idle animation, and I want it to loop until a command is given, right? So I check loop time here, but I won't on others, right? Like if I have a punch animation, I don't want to trigger it and have them just punch, punch, punch. I want to punch every time I trigger a punch. So loop time is for things you want to run in a loop. I'll say apply here, and I'm just going to look back here and look at the rig thing and see if okay, I guess I didn't apply it before, but it seems to be applied. It's humanoid. Okay, so now if I roll this down, you can see the animation icon now says idle, and just to avoid some confusion for me, I'm going to click on this animation and hit Control D. D stands for duplicate. And then when I roll this up, you can see there's an idle animation down here, and then there's one up here. And I can actually delete this package if I want to, but I'll just keep it. So again, I click on the package for walk. I'll look at the rig. It says generic. I'll make it humanoid. I'll apply it this time. I'll look at the animation. I'll rename this. I'll call this walk. I don't want this to loop, so that's down here, loop time. So I won't check that. I think that's good. Oh, somehow this is grayed out. So I'm going to look at loop time and then uncheck it. I noticed that before. It's a weird little thing. It's grayed out. It's like, I don't know. It thinks I haven't made all my choices yet. So now I've got, I'll do this. The walk animation, Control D to duplicate it. It duplicates outside the package, and then I can look for the animation and just use just the animations without the whole package. Idle, I'm going to drag up here and drop on the dummy. I think that worked. The only way to find out is to hit play. Yep. So if you see here in the scene, the characters they're in this kind of ready pose, or this kind of cross pose. And if I look through the camera, that's where they're at. If I hit play, they are idling. Excellent. Let's add one more animation, the walk animation, and we'll be done. I'm not going to we're not going to fix everything. We're just getting this far. So here is, I'll end this. Here's an animator scene. Okay, that's not what I want to see. There we go. So I click on the dummy, and the animator shows the animations for the dummy. And so what all this means is, I'm not sure what the any state is doing. Exit doesn't, I don't know. But entry means when we enter the scene. When we enter the scene, there's this transition. That's a transition. You can click on it. Oh, there's not any information here, and to the idle. And then I've got a walk animation. I can just drag it up here. So I want to transition from idle to walk. Right click on idle, make transition. Just move my mouse. I don't have to hold it down. Right click on walk, make transition, and I come back down. So now we have a transition from idle to walk and from walk to idle. And if I look at this transition, I can see it has an exit time. Now, I don't really want that. What that means is after so many seconds or whatever it is, it will go from the idle to the walk. So normally I would uncheck that. Let's look at this here. This one also has an exit time, so it will go from the walk to the idle, and that's fine. But I normally wouldn't want that, but I do want to show this. So let's click play. Should start walking. Huh. Okay. There you go. And it just takes a couple of steps. That's a rather long idle loop. That's okay though. It gives him a lot to do. He really has a lot going on. He moves around a bit. And then we'll see. Will he walk again? Yeah. So that's not normally. I only want him to walk when I tell him to walk, and not just when he when he when he gets to the end of a loop. Let's go back to the. Let's see if I can. So this has exit time. I'll take that out, and I think I want this one out too. I want him to stop walking not after a certain amount of time, but after I tell him to stop walking. So let's just hit play. So now he shouldn't be walking. Oh, and there's something else. I don't think he should be moving forward. I may have to go back and look at the animation I got, because I can get an animation where he walks in place, but it's not the worst thing in the world for him. I don't have to. I don't have to make him walk. I don't have to make him move if I download the animation that includes the movement. So I'll turn this off, go back to the animator, and just look at this again. So I'll say this one has an exit time, and this one, the outro from the walk back to idle, not. So once he starts walking, maybe he should continue to walk. Maybe that's what will happen. So if that's the case, I'm going to push him further back so we can give it a chance to see what happens. So he should has this longish idle, and then he should start walking. We'll see what happens when he starts to walk. I didn't put a loop time on his. There we go. Nah. And then he freezes. Is he idling? I don't think he's idling now. Right. So that's as far as I really want to go. I will go back into the animator and put a has exit time on it. So then he'll idle, then he'll walk a bit, then he'll idle. And that's as far as I really felt like I needed to get today. He's idling. He'll walk. Just 2 steps. Let's see if he walks again. That's what I believe he should do here. There we go. So when I'm giving him commands to walk, I don't have to worry about this idle being really long, because as soon as I tell it to walk, he will walk. But that's as far as I really have to get today. I hope that's helpful to you. I don't remember, do I have to save this stuff? I just tried it here. File, save? Okay, I saved it. That's it for me today.